Programming, art, business, games. At the intersection of art and technology, Charles McGregor is paving his own path and challenging what it means to be a game developer. Years ago, I met Charles, a brilliant young mind pursuing his creative passion for games at every opportunity. He has built over 15 games since the age of 8, is an Emmy-nominated composer and founder of Tribe Games. Although he still has a long way to go before he reaches his goal of becoming a world-renowned game designer, I believe Charles can change the game.
It's like, yeah, we're just talking. Sure. Yeah, I'm Charles McGregor. I am a programmer, musician, artist, and entrepreneur at Tribe Games. So when I was about 8 years old, I remember reading an article in Time magazine about a young girl who started her own business. I saw that and I said, hey, Dad, I want to do that, but for video games. He sat me down and taught me how to code. Ever since then, I've released about 5 games, fully released games. The new game that I'm working on right now is HyperDot, which is an action arcade game where you dodge everything. The reason why this game is a bigger deal is that I'm putting all of my effort into it, and I see that this game can commercially do well. HyperDot has gotten some awards. It got like Best Multiplayer and Best Gameplay at a couple of conventions. But the biggest telling thing is that I'm working with Glitch to help publish my game and get my game out there and put in some like marketing efforts and stuff like that.
Glitch is an independent video game label home to like the offbeat, the experimental, and especially the debut. We've been around for, at this point, almost 10 years, and we see ourselves really as like a community-driven arts and education center for game makers.
I came up with the idea of HyperDot because HyperDot originally was a research topic in school in a class that had nothing to do with video games at all. Like, this game was specifically for class. Like, he made this game instead of making a paper. And we needed like a visual element, and they said no PowerPoints. So I was like, oh, this is a good time to pull out my game development skills. So I ended up making the topic on anti-piracy techniques in video games. So the dot was your game, and then all the enemies were pirates. Yeah, it was really reaching. Now I am going to goof off now. So I've been working on trying to update some of this UI here, the user interface here, to make it easier to understand, easier to read. Before, there was a couple of problems with it where people didn't quite understand what was going on and why they were choosing things. And hopefully these new updates will make it so that, oh, this is what this means. Now I understand what's going on. So this is HyperDot. It's a action arcade game where you dodge everything. So we are playtesting. We're playtesting it to test out bugs, see how people play and react to certain things in the game and stuff like that. Is the game done? It is not done. It is a work in progress. Coming out soon, TM.
Smaller. Yeah. He has like a couple lives.
Oh, there's some power-ups. I like that.
I won!
What does it take for people to see you and see your game? I think that's a great question, and I think a lot of people are trying to figure that out because the platforms are really flooded.
Kind of in a reality where video games have never been easier to get into because there are free tools, there are free things that you can utilize. You just need a computer in order to make the games.
It's hard to get noticed. It's hard to figure out who your audience is and who your players are, especially when you're just first starting out. It can be really challenging.
The fact that it's a young medium and we're just still trying to discover things is super exciting. I do game development because it is the culmination of the passions in my life: art, music, programming, game design. All of these things coalesce into this amazing medium of video games. It's not just like a passive experience, it's an active one where you're actually trying to engage with the audience and saying, you take the reins, you craft the experience along with me. And it's not just, you're just watching a movie, listening to music.
something like that, but you're actively participating in it. I just really love that it blends all of these things together so well. Hopefully I do inspire like people of color to pursue something in video games or in technology or something like that. But I do also think that I want to not only inspire them, but inspire everyone to be like, oh, hey, this is possible. Like, hey, it's possible to create a game on your own. Or, hey, it's possible to use these tools. You don't need a whole lot in order to start. I started on my dad's old, like really, really old computer. One of the top things that I want to do is show that video games are an art form. And it's not just a pastime.
Oh no!